What is up, everybody? Finally, I can stream proper, and we're not dropping any frames, so it's time for the new account. Alright, let me mess with my volume here. I think it might be a little loud. So, I'm a little annoyed that we have this summer event, because I kind of have to play it on this new account, because it's just the smart thing to do. But I didn't want to like start this new account and be like, yeah, summer event, right? It's not really what I wanted to do. Wanted to do the main story, but we had to do some of the main story. So for those that don't know, this is a brand new account. We're going to be totally free to play. I've done my tutorial summon already because I wanted to make a bind code because, you know, I like not losing my account. But we've done nothing. You know, we're level 1. We got our login bonuses here from that last few days. So this account's going to be totally free to play. Basically, I'm making this account because, one, I want to play the game again, and I want to show that you can play JP at any time. I constantly see people say you can't, like, play JP, like, if you're this far behind and it's just terrible. I don't buy any of that. Hey, Fen, thank you for extending your sub, and thank you, Professor, for the 22-month resub. Jeez. Thanks, guys. But yeah, people are always saying if you start now, you're not going to have golden sumo, you're not going to have this, you're not going to have that. But the game is always adding new things. The default stuff they give you is more than good enough. So we're going to play through the game. We're going to be free to play. But unlike my 1 to 3 star account, I'm going to actually use, you know, I'm going to play the game like myself, right? If I get servants that are rare and I like them, I'm going to use them, right? So, you know, as we get things, I'm gonna kind of go through my thought process and like, oh, I have this, so I don't need to level that, anyway. So I'm gonna show off what we got here because we did the tutorial summon. We haven't done anything else. All right, let's see here. I haven't actually been leveling anything because, like I said, we're just fresh out of the tutorial. But we got Hercules, tutorial summon, which is like the best thing. We also got nursery rhyme. And then, yeah, we got Ku, David, Ushi, which those are all real staples, so really good start there. And then CE-wise, we have, like, absolutely nothing. Like, we have the Knight, which isn't particularly good. It's okay, but everything else is pretty much terrible, so hopefully we get, like, imaginary element or something. What's the longest subbing streak? I think they're at, like... There's someone that's actually longer than Cairo, and Cairo never lets that one go. But it's about 30 months, 31 months. Yeah, I was really happy to get Ku in my first thing. Alright, let's collect all of our daily logins, because I grabbed a few. I was going to start playing this account several days ago, but then had all this internet trouble, so I couldn't. So, alright, what... I'm actually thinking we go with bells because of Qin Gong. Like, we're going to need lanterns and stuff for more servants, but Qin Gong is really important. So I'm really leaning towards that, and because we can get blue lanterns through other means where we can't get bells for ages, so I think we take bells. I think all 4 of these we take bells. Because there's no way for me to get those for a long time, so I'm like, wow, we get all kinds of free stuff. We should just take everything here. Alright. I'm not sure what we're going to do with Grails. I kind of want to do things that I like, things that are practical, but I do want to mix things up. I don't want to just do the things I always Grail, so... But I'm going to be practical. I don't know what 5-star we're going to take. That's another thing. I don't want to take a really strong 5-star, because right now JP's giving out a free 5-star. There is a good 1-star right there. But I don't want to take like waiver or anything because someone else could start the game months from now and they're not going to have that. I don't want to pick something where they're like, oh, you're just getting carried because they did that free 5-star thing, right? Besides, I don't like using things like waiver anyway. That's not like a handicap for like the stream or anything. It's just I don't like using the really overpowered supports because they make the game a lot less fun for me. So I'll use them for farming though. I really want St. George. Gareth can work too, but yeah, I really want St. George early, like as soon as possible. I did mention that I have Hercules. I literally showed it. If you think Hercules is as good as Waver, you're out of your mind. Also, literally, like with anyone can start an account and get Hercules. Anybody. It's not hard to reroll for Hercules. That's what I did. It's easy. Not anybody can just start the game off with Waver. Thus, I'm not picking Waver. I'm gonna use all the FP I got and see if we can get a George. I thought the ticket was gone on the 14th, and then the deadline was the 30th. I really don't care that much if we miss it because I don't really need a free 5-star, but I'm pretty sure it's on the 14th that you can't do it anymore. You just have to, I think, get to Orleans. Kind of funny getting her before all the, like, you know, OG bronze. Come on, give me George game. That's pretty weird if the exchange limit and the time to get the ticket's not the same, but it doesn't really matter, like I said. In a way, I'm kind of happy because now chat can't grief me for not picking the thing they want. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. I mean, I already have a level 100 Mordred that I can summon anytime, so I'm not really worried about that. That's another thing, though. For the main story, we're gonna make sure we're like either using story supports or like, you know, kind of low-end supports until we get to Lost Bolt or Epic of Remnant. Then we'll summon more OP people. And we're trying to not use people from the stream until we get to Lost Bolt or Epic of Remnant. Gonna have to rely on randoms. The lack of St. George right now, though. We got some good stuff, though. We got some of the basics. Do we have Mozart yet? I don't think we have Mozart yet. That's crazy, though, because these like the 1-stars are really easy to get. That's unfortunate. All right. Well, I normally like to level up my servants a little bit so they don't like get. So they're above like the new stuff you obtain and above XP cards and all that. But I want to do Fuyuki with all level 1s, aside from like the 4-star they make you level. So. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to get those again. I like how we don't even have enough AP to do a 40 node. Like it's not a matter of not being able to beat it. We can't even start it. Okay, so I have myself and Rex on my friends list, but I'm gonna try not to use those. At least not my OP stuff for now. We're gonna go with either story supports or randoms, because a normal person that starts the game now is not gonna have access to just, you know, instantly a bunch of OP people on the friends list. So what would we do here? I guess I'm gonna start looking for, you know, people to add. Like I said, I'm not gonna rely on my stream. It's kind of cheating. Really, I don't need anything for 1.0, and I'm gonna go out of my way not to summon OP stuff to carry me. What I need is stuff for the event. Like I need to add people that will make the event easier and like for the farming and stuff. But most people probably won't add me yet. Speaking of which, actually, before I do anything, let's actually have a support list here, even though it's like none of these are all that great, but let's see. Rip George. Let's go with Ku there instead. Alright, and we'll just upgrade this as we go. What a start, though. Hey, Blazing, thank you for the bits, man. All of these are terrible. That's like I guess at least it does something. Do that. Guys, Ku had the moon cell all along. So you thought it was in Fate Extra, but actually Ku had it. Man, if I had battled Kim Long, that would be nice. It's a good one to start with. Wow, we don't have anything worth a damn here. Just attack to everybody. We'll give Mash the defense one. Man, my stream notifications are messed up. I need to fix that. I think it's because we had all those sub alerts, so I think I killed them because it was getting really annoying. That sounds so bad out of context. Alright, there we go. That's a meta support list if I've ever seen one. Who wouldn't add this? That's honestly about as meta as you can get for like what we have, right? Like legit for what we have. That's about as good as we're gonna get there. All right, like guys, there's a tiny difference here. See, this one gives attack, and then Golden Sumo gives a little bit more attack, right? So just a tiny difference here. Nothing too big. All right, let's see who we're gonna add or try to add. Someone just that has, like I said, event CEs is kind of what we want. This guy is a fan of Artoria, I see. I like this Kojiro though. I don't have to add it. If I don't see anybody that really stands out right now, I don't have to even send them an invite. Like, it doesn't matter. I can take my time. I think we'll just, well... Yeah, we'll just go with whatever for now. I'll look later. No rush. Just put that in the back. I got the first thing I summoned. Okay, hold on. Let's not summon Merlin. All right. So Hercules has to be on every team from now on until Bond 10. Like, that's super important. Uchi Bond helps with Guadia, but it's not that big of a deal. We could win with just about anything. Hans getting Bond is good, but we don't have him yet. Arash getting Bond is good. I guess Arash is pretty... Well, I wouldn't say it's that important, but it's alright. I don't really have that many people right now where their Bond CE is too big of a deal, other than Hercules, so... I'm actually glad we're starting with at least Fergus. It's nice to have somebody, like, to have a Saber. It's kind of hard to get a early game Saber sometimes. Can't even bring the Moon Cell, man. Couldn't fit it in my pocket. Alright, let's do this. Arash's Bond CE. When he dies, he removes everyone's debuffs. Yeah, I think stream is fixed. We've had 0 drop frames, so feels good. And hi, Ari. Oh no, how are we gonna beat the 1000 health skeletons? Oh boy, slow-mo. No. We actually should have a chat overlay. I think Streamlabs is fucked up right now. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. We don't have our stream overlay. It's actually, it's there, like it's supposed to be working. I think CS Streamlabs is just messed up right now. Because my stream alerts aren't working, and yeah, let me see if I can... It's probably on their end, but I'll see if I can fix this. Yeah, I think it is set up like it should be working. Yeah, that kind of sucks for the first VOD. We're not going to have chat there. Let's see if that fixes it. I don't think that fixed it. Yeah, I think Streamlabs is just messed up right now. Dang, that sucks. This happens every once in a while, where Streamlabs just dies. Yeah, Herc's the big boy. We're working on the new emote right now, actually. Let me check something with the chat overlay. Yeah, it's all set up right on my end, so I think it's on Streamlabs end. Oh man, big level 2. Whoops, I was mashing buttons and I just followed that guy. Never mind friend invite, we just straight up followed him. I like how I'm friended with myself and I'm following myself. Yeah, I figured we'd go with the female avatar on this one because for like I have like what 6 accounts or some shit, and every single other one I use the guy, so I figure why not. We looked at all those mystic codes the other day, so I was like, okay, fine, we'll mix it up. Yeah, those are the wrong event CEs, sir. I like that Mozart though. Yeah, I could try restarting the stream. That might fix the bot, but I think it's just something on their end right now. Pretty sure MASH can't even use their NP at this point in the game. Yeah, this is a new account. It's gonna be totally free to play, but we're gonna use the rare things we get, with the exception of like, you know, Waiver Merlin, that kind of thing. But other than that, we're using what we're getting. And I'll be talking, as I go, I'll be talking about like what I'm leveling, why I'm leveling. You know, the first real check mark we have to worry about, you know, is Gwaine, right? So obviously, you know, kind of top priority is going to be like Rob and David, you know, that kind of thing. And those are really good, you know, basic units to level anyway. What I might do, because I'm probably going to do the summer event that's going on right now, other than, like I said, that's kind of a lame way to start an account, but, you know, I don't have Golden Sumo, obviously, because I'm starting the game, you know, so far into its life. But, you know, they're always adding new 50% starting in PCEs that are, like, comparable to it, and the one in this event is, you know, for an art unit, is comparable to it. So it's like, you know, you want to get all the 50% starting in PCEs when they're available. Because, like, I'll see a lot of people, they're, like, afraid to start JP because they're like, oh, you know, but I won't have Sumo, I won't have Holy Night Dinner and stuff. But, I mean, they're pretty consistently adding new stuff, you know, like that. So even if you don't have Golden Sumo specifically, you have something that can stand in for it, so it's not a big deal. really just doesn't matter what I summon right now. I guess I should summon people that have the bond boost, so I'll just summon Rex. Yeah, I want to restart the stream and see if that fixes the chat bot. I don't want to split up the VOD like that if I can help it. But it does kind of suck not having chat on screen. That was very optimistic of me to think that Fergus was going to finish that off. Yeah, I think you have to do the first stage of Orleans. It's either the first stage of Orleans or all of Orleans. I'm not sure. Herc was the first, but I would have rerolled anyway, and I'd actually rerolled on my old phone, and I was trying to get Herc, but then when we did it on this one, we just got it in the first try because lol. Funnily enough, though, if I remember correctly, no, the first try we actually got double Herc, and I actually didn't want that, so I went with one of the other ones from the old phone that didn't have double Herc, because I was like, yeah, anybody can reroll for Hercules. And I've always, my main account doesn't have Hercules, right? So I've always wanted one. So that's why I wanted to reroll for him. But I'm like, yeah, anyone can reroll for Hercules. But not anyone can reroll for double Hercules, right? That's not exactly reasonable. So I figured, let's not go with that one. I'll be glad when we can summon story supports because we'll get more FP, which is really good early game. It's actually, I mean, it's good late game too because FP gives, you know, 5-star XP embers now, so. Honestly, we're not gonna have to farm XP much at all because of that. So I'm gonna try to not overlevel things anyway. And then with them giving so much out of FP, like all the XP, it's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do with SQ is we're going to, once we kind of get, and I recommend this is actual advice to new players, you know, you want to do a few 10 rolls to kind of just get a base, you know, do a few 10 rolls to just get, you know, grab a few nice CEs, you know, maybe get Imaginary Element or Canid CE or whatever. You just want to get a couple of tools, you know, a couple of servants and stuff under your belt, and then you start saving for things you actually want. Now, I'm in kind of a unique situation because this is an, you know, an alt account. You know, I don't really, you know, if I really want a new character or like I want Tesla or something, you know, I'm gunning for that on my main account or something like that. So this account doesn't need anything specific, so I'm not really sure how I'm going to handle rolling. I'm either just, I don't really want to roll every time I get 30 SQ on story because that's not very natural, right? Most people wouldn't do such a thing, and then I'd get, you know, I get Bedivere and Caster 2 a lot easier than most people and stuff. So I'm not sure how we're going to handle rolling yet. But I'm definitely going to, like, probably this stream I'm going to roll a few times because I like I said, I want to get it, you know. I think it's really wise on a new account, brand new, you know, shiny account. You want to roll a few times just to get some stuff. Because, like, right now, our CE options are just, you know, horrendous. I mean, I'm gonna, you know, I might roll every roughly 300 SQ, but it's like I don't want to do something so rigid as that because it's like, I mean, who know? Yeah, it's like this is an ult account and all that, but I'm still gonna be myself, right? I'm not, you know, I'm gonna play like I would actually play an account. So I'm gonna try to get servants that I actually at least vaguely want, right? I'm not necessarily gonna go for my top favorites because I already have my top favorites on other accounts. But I'm not gonna roll on like, you know, Liz. You know, that's not gonna happen. You know, oh, if I have like, you know, 300 SQ, and then Liz is rated up, I'm not rolling on that. And also, I always tell people, if you really want something, 300 SQ is pretty 50-50, right? If you're gonna get it or not. You know, that's really good odds not to get it. You know, I'm more of a guy that normally saves up for 600, 700 SQ, and like, you know, blows everything, you know, on the one thing. But that's not really necessary on an ult account. So, like I said, I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. The question is, once you beat the tutorial here, and we want to do a couple of 10 rolls, do we do it on story banner, so we could get Caster Coup, which would be really nice, because Caster Coup is a very helpful servant for like Shimosa and that kind of thing. Or do we just do like the summer raid up just cuz? But I don't, like, Musashi's kind of cool, you know, America, but I don't care about, I don't care about the 4 stars at all. Like, the only thing in that I'd be happy to get is Musashi. Everything else would be like, I would not be happy to have, so. Yeah, I kind of like story, because I feel like that's what a lot of people would do when they're new to the game. If they're going to do a couple of rolls, they're either going to roll on like whatever raid up happens to be out if they like it, or they'll do story. I mean, you could get K-Scope in any raid up. Although, honestly, though, because of the rated up CEs, I really am better off doing story. So I think, yeah, we do story. That's always fun to do anyway. We'll just do it once we beat the tutorial here. I don't think you can even get Caster Coup until you do that. Yeah, I think Fuyuki unlocks Saber Alter and Caster Coup. Watch this mad NP gain on the last card. Just turn 1, rip Medusa. That's pretty much how that fight would go. I guess what I'll do is when we beat Fuyuki, I'll reset the stream and see if that fixes our chat bot. And that way we can have like a VOD for Fuyuki, then go into Orleans. And then after Orleans, we'll probably start the summer event. Man, if you on NA, it was really good to roll early on, just because there were so few 5-star CEs. So the odds of getting, you know, the good ones were pretty high. Like getting, you know, Black Grail and K-Scope were pretty easy back then. Also, Leyline was in Story Summon back then, where now it's only in FP. And that, you know, Leyline is a pretty handy, like, starting CE. You know, obviously, as time goes on, they add things like Golden Sumo and like the Suzuka Gozen one that we have right now and stuff like that. But early on, you didn't have access to stuff like that. I really dislike, though, that Leyline is only in FP now. I don't really get why they did that, because it's one of the better 3-star CEs. It's like, I guess he thought it was so basic, no one wanted it, but it's like, it's so much better than most of the 3-star CEs that you can get out of the gacha. But it just takes a really long time to get it now. Like, a really, really long time. You know, Saber Alter might be a little tricky at level 1. I think they really expect you to be like level 5 or 10 for that, but we'll get it. It would really help if we had George, though. I like how we got Emiya's theme going, and you do fight him, but that's not for a little bit. We gotta just slog our way through this, filler stuff here. There's our boy Caster Coup. I remember when supports couldn't be in the leader slot. I don't even know why. It's like, dude, day 1 FGO, the only servant you could summon from your friends was their leader slot. Wait, can y'all not hear the music? Yeah, I mean, you know, I'll just be careful about what's on the playlist so it doesn't get things screwed over. Can't hear the music? What? Doesn't make any sense. I'm confused. I don't know. I mean, it's really not that low. I mean, I'm literally looking at OBS and it shows me the audio volume, and the volume on the music is, you know, it's not like blaring, but yeah, I can try and turn it up a little bit here, see if this makes it better. I don't know. I got a new version of OBS, and I don't know. I feel like it might be tripping a bit. Yeah, this is a scuffed stream, man. Feels bad. I blame Streamlabs, though. I don't generally use music that has copyright issues, but you never know. People are always, you know... I mean, most companies, especially like video game companies and stuff like that, you know, they'll just monetize your video, right? And they'll take the money. That's generally what happens. You know, it's more like the mainstream, like, you know, pop music that you'll have actual problems with, which I don't really like that kind of music anyway, so that's not an issue for me. Look at this guy. He's got MLB K-Scope, NP2 Gajuna, but he hasn't given him the lures. Like, that's surprising because Gajuna is so busted. Maybe he just uses him for farming. We'll go with that though, just because. Oh wait, no, I can do cast too, right? Yeah. Give me that FP. I just didn't even. I normally like glaze over. I'm so used to skipping over story supports, like you know, in the later game. Man, I slept like crap last night. It's like I've been waiting to stream for so long, and my internet hasn't, you know, been working. And then, but I've been sleeping okay, right? And then the day that my internet is working, is the one day I slept really bad. I just want to get through Fuyuki real quick here, then we'll do a couple rolls, see what we get. Get some FP. There's really no boss fight in Fuyuki that could really trip you up at all other than Saber Altar. That's like the only one. Everything else is so easy. I've said this before. They really need to remaster Fuyuki, if you will. Like, first of all, that'd be kind of hype if they did that, right? And like, as you do it, you can, you know, do animation updates for like Caster Coup. You could, you know, maybe make Medusa Lancer a costume. Stuff like that. Maybe add Ryder Darius. They're not going to do that. But maybe they do. And you make it, you know, a bit more up to snuff. You make the, you know... the boss fight's a bit better. You actually, you know, explain the game to people instead of lying to them with the tutorials, right? And that'd be a great time to add story replay. A lot of games do that too. Like, as they age, they'll make their introduction better. Because like, it's Fuyuki's pretty lame, like the way it's done. See, I think we actually fight Caster Coup soon, and then I think Emiya, and then Saber Altar. So we're getting there. Got 7 bones though. I think this is just filler. Oh, hey, we actually have more team costs now. I guess might as well get Ushi Bond. I mean, Arc Knights is so much better than FGO when it comes to like fundamental stuff. You know, like the way they handle costumes is so much better. They have a safety net. But yeah, their one thing is their friend system is laughably bad, right? Like it's super, super bad. And I guess they don't want people relying on supports to carry them all the time, and that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. But their friend system is so bad that it's like it basically doesn't exist. It's like the first NP we've ever used. Yeah, Waver's always been support. It's just he didn't have the NP charge before. I like how Wave 2 is like a full roster of enemies, and then the ending is just a hand. Give me that XP, man. I think they really do teach. No, I think they do that earlier. They tell you to. They make you level up your tutorial summon. Funnily enough, my tutorial summon was actually Nursery Rhyme, which we will use her absolutely. But it just happened to come with Hercules as well, so I was like, I'm okay with this. I wish we had like, okay, here we go. I was about to say I wish we had Caligula, but we do. For early game like this, that works out. Hey, Fury. Yeah, Waver's as good as he's always been. Doesn't, you know, there's not, like, the only time I would say another unit can really affect another unit like that is when it's, because, you know, unit synergies are a thing, but that's not really how you rate a specific unit, right? It's like, you might have, you know, Waver, but that doesn't mean you happen to have this other thing that works really well with them or whatever, right? That does, you know, but Waver enables everyone, that's the thing. Waver can enable any unit. The only time I think it's really worth noting, like, synergies like that, is one, if you're a whale, or two, if it's like, the thing that's important is a common unit. You know, like St. George for Siegfried. You know, if you have Siegfried, you're obviously going to have St. George, right? You can't rely on a specific, you know, 5-star to make Waver good. But it doesn't matter because Waver's good anyway. Like, Waver is good with, you know, everyone. And you got stuff like, you know, Romulus and Boudica, and everyone has Boudica, but you don't necessarily have Romulus, right? So it's not, you know... It makes, you know, Boudica better. The fact that that exists, it makes Boudica better, but it's not that big of a deal. You know, it's like, she needs to be usable in general, not just with Romulus. Because, like, St. George is good with or without Siegfried. You know, St. George is very good with or without Siegfried. Boudica's alright, though. Like, she's even without Romulus, she's pretty decent now. Like, since she got, like, the crit up, the art up, and the attack up, you know, all that stuff, it's pretty good. Yeah, Waver's good now, Waver was good before, and he's gonna be good tomorrow. The only time Waver, and the thing is, Waver actually was good day one. A lot of people act like he sucked, and that's why they buffed him so much. But the only reason he kind of seemed like he sucks day one was because the game was so much easier back then. You know, you didn't need what he did, right? It's just like you know, David and Hans weren't really looked at day one, you know, because everyone was just, you know, bring 3 Berserkers, see red, press red, because like the enemy HP thresholds were so much lower and stuff like that. You didn't, so like, if day one Waver was a thing now, I don't think he'd be worthy of like a 5-star, but he'd still be a decent 4-star. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of attack up, it's a lot of defense up, and a damage cut, and a big crit up, you know, and then a utility in P. It's like, yeah, that's solid. Like, that's what you'd expect out of like a 3-star support or a 4-star support. Not quite good enough for a 5-star support, but in terms of overall gameplay impact, it's still fine. It just wasn't needed back then. No one needed damage cut back then. No one cared about that, right? Now he's just ridiculous because he does all the things I just said, and then he also gives you a bunch of MP battery. And being able to get 50% MP battery turn 1 is such a big deal. And then you also get 20% for everyone else on the team. Man, there's a lot of filler stages in Fuyuki. I don't have Robin. That's an oof. Wait, do I have to bring Mash? I don't think I do. Except I don't have the team cost. Not to bring her. I don't think they're gonna make an FGO 2 ever. I think they'll make another Fate mobile game at some point, like way down the line. But I don't think it's gonna be FGO 2. It's probably gonna be made by a different company. Its gameplay is probably gonna be very different because they're not gonna be able to sell it if it's too similar, right? If they just make FGO 2 and then they make you, because newsflash, they're gonna make you unlock all your servants again. They're going to do that. You don't get all your servants from FGO in Fate Extella, for example, right? You have to get them. You have to unlock what's in the game, right? If they make a new, you know, Fate Go kind of game, you know, it's not going to have all the servants in it day one, right? And some of the servants will probably never make it in because they're going to, they're going to add in like the fan favorites and then add more fan favorites over time, and then also add new characters as they go because that's just how you make money. So a lot of they wouldn't let you transfer your servants because a lot of them wouldn't be in the game anyway, let alone day one, and then they wouldn't make any money that way. And so they'll want to make the gameplay different enough where people aren't like seeing that, you know, exact comparison. It's just like an arcade, an FGO arcade. You don't get, you know, you don't get the characters you have in the mobile version, and no one bats an eyelash because the gameplay is so different. It's kind of an arbitrary reason, but I mean, it's a perception thing in marketing, right? And they know that, so they're gonna want the second game to be something pretty different, so people aren't even thinking. I was like, oh yeah, of course we have to get our servants again. It's a different game. But I don't think, you know, FGO's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's making way too much money for that. And they already have plans for 3.0. You know, people are so stuck on this idea that 2.0 is ending and that's it because of what Nasu said. But Nasu didn't say that. And then Nasu, even in literally the next interview with him, was like, yeah, I'm writing the outline of 3.0. So it's like, you know, it's obviously not shutting down. Like, it's just silly. The next Fate mobile game will probably have PvP and it will probably have gear, which is so lame. I think gear can be done well when it's not just an arbitrary carrot on a stick that's there to make you grind. When it's just like, you know, it's kind of like when you have a new servant, you gotta level them up and level their skills up, right? It's not an endless grind, it's a pretty set thing. If you have gear where it's just like, oh yeah, you have, you know, set gear with set stats, you kill the dragon boss to get this gear and it always drops this kind of gear. And you kill you go kill Fergus, right, to get this other type of gear, right? And it's not RNG. It's not like, oh, it has RNG stats. You have to level the gear. It's just set gear, right? And it's like, okay, I want to give George defense gear, so I kill, you know, the max level boss that drops the defense gear, and then once, you know, and so hey, they brought out Henry V as a saber, right? And so, you know, I got Henry V day one, I leveled him up, and now I want to go get him gear, so I go kill some bosses that are like designed to drop gear, right? And you can have tiers of it where you got like, you know, an easy boss, medium boss, hard boss, but you don't want to go anything beyond that. And most games they don't do it that way. They're all like, you know, what drops is super random, what stats it has is super random, then you have to level the gear, right? And they're always adding new tiers of gear. If it's like a more set in stone thing, I think it's fine. Because we already have stuff like that, like with command codes and CEs and stuff. Like, gear can be good, because it can, you know, like I said, it can give you, you know, side grade options. And, you know, and it can give you like a reason to fight bosses and that kind of thing. But I don't believe for a second they would do it that way. They would do it like Epic 7 or something like that. Like 100% they would do it that way, because, you know, it's not enough to have people have something to do, you know, every once in a while when they get new characters. You have to have something to do all the time, right? It's like, gear is such an easy way to give people an endless grind. You know, you don't have to add content nearly as often, right? Because people are sitting there grinding gear endlessly. Like a lot of older games, I think did gear well. Not necessarily phone games, but because, you know, it was more side grady and more set in stone. It was good. It wasn't kill this boss a million times and hope the gear has the right stats on it, right? None of that nonsense. Man, a lot of filler stages. I mean, I wouldn't say I would never play something that has gear in it again. It's generally a negative. How big of a negative depends. But it's, you know, I like to keep an open mind, because right now the industry is in a place, I think, where gear is pretty universally used poorly, and is just a arbitrary way to get people to grind, like I said. But it doesn't have to be that, and there have been games that have done it differently, especially in the past, and it might get better in the future. I don't think it's going to get better in the future, though, at least not often, maybe for indie games and stuff like that, because it's just such a tried and true, easy mode way to get people to add longevity to your game and not actually have to develop a lot of new content. So yeah, it's too tempting. Like, the developers can't like pass that up, and hell, publishers might even mandate it sometimes. However, I do think it can be really bad for your game, because there's a certain demographic of people that get really hooked on that kind of stuff, right? It's really easy to do the carrot on a stick stuff, and that really gets them to keep playing. But that only works in a certain demographic. There's other demographics where not only does it not work, it makes them not want to play at all, right? Where like I've said, I think FGO could have added gear in a way that would have actually been healthy, right? Because like right now, FGO, you know, keeps people playing through QP. Let's be real. But, you know, it's through adding events, you know, like every month or so, adding new story every few months, that kind of thing. You know, but that, you know, that's more development than other games that have to, well, not always. There are other, like, I will say Arc Knights and Epic 7, I think, had a pretty comparable amount of stuff like that. But anyway, you know, that's how they keep people playing. And so, you know, like them adding a gear grind like Epic 7 or whatever, I think would be really bad. But if they added like a daily mode, let's go to the menu and like, you know, explore this idea real quick. So let's say they added a mode, like a boss mode, that was dedicated to getting gear, right? So you know, you go here, it's a little side thing, you know, and you got your let's say these are the bosses, right? And you know, you make it where like you got like, you know, different tiers of it. So for new players, you know, they're getting, you know, level, you know, 5 gear, and then, you know, level 30 gear, then like level 60 gear. But then that's it. You don't make them 70, 80, 90, 100. You don't just keep going infinitely, right? You make a pretty set cutoff point. It's like, yes, this is in-game. It's like right now, that's something I like about FGO, is once you get to like Babylon and on, everything, all the enemies all have pretty much in-game stats, and it doesn't really change that much. And then you're supposed to just get your servants to max level and get their skills up, and they're in-game ready, and it never changes. There's no moving goalpost, and gear can be a part of that, right? Let's say you acquire a new servant, and you just go here and do one of these bosses. You know, you do it a few times to get the drop you need, and then that's that. There's no, oh, it's an attack piece, chess piece, but it's got the wrong stats on it. Oh no! It's like, no, you don't do that. You just make it an attack piece, chess piece, an attack piece, chess piece, and that's it. You know, you don't get so convoluted with the stats. That's fine for a game, because that's a reasonable amount of extra content. I'm okay if, like when they added Canis, right? I was super ready to level up Canis. You had all the mats ready, had all the XP ready. So if I had to go, like, okay, I got the XP ready, I got the mats ready, I don't mind having to get the gear ready, right? That's fine. Like, as long as it's not like a ridiculous grind, it's not a problem. Like, I actually think, like I said, that could be pretty healthy for the game. And it can add, like I said, side grade stuff, because you go, oh, I'm going to go with that, an attack set and a health set. Or I'm going to go with, you know, this and this. And you know, you can mix up the way, you know, a character plays and stuff. You know, like Leonidas is a good example of that. You can be more defense focused for the looping, or you could do like the, you know, you don't loop as often, but you can do the more offensive stuff, because, you know, Leonidas can do that with his crits, with the NP and the Buster Up and all that. So, like, one's probably more effective than the other, but you can play it either way based on what you like. That's fine. That's good for a game. I like that. So, like, I don't inherently dislike gear systems. If anything, I like them. It's just that I haven't seen a game do them well in God knows how long. Alright, we're fighting Kazukiru. I'm gonna bust out the Ushi. What else we got in the rider department here? We have very little survivability right now. So if he NPs, everybody's gonna die pretty much. So, let's see. I'm just afraid. I don't want to use waiver, right? He needs to just be here for show, basically. Hey, Heal, what's up, man? I think he's just training us. I don't think you're like actually fighting. It's like training or whatever. Well, a lot of my other accounts are going on the back burner because of this. Like, I'm not gonna be playing NA much. I don't play NA much anyway. You know, I'm gonna play my regular ult a lot less. I'm gonna focus a lot on my main account and this account for a good while. Okay, he doesn't get his NP for ages, so we should be fine. Oh my God, we don't have Ushi's buff though. Hercules, please, your sword's in the way. Can we get an Uchi animation update? Oh my God. Like, Fergus, you know, he's not a day one servant, so he looks a bit better, right? He's alright. You know, yeah, his animations are pretty simplistic, but his body proportions and stuff are, like, accurate for the most part, right? They work pretty well. Uchi's not even the correct height for her character, right? And then she looks like a albino gremlin or goblin. She's a female albino goblin, right? It's like, that's not what that's supposed to be, right? Wow, this was easy as hell. Just two-turn the lad. Oh yeah, Kazukiru needs an animation update, obviously. That's what I was saying, you know, do a Fuyuki remaster, right? And then do it then. I think Ushi probably does have the worst model in the game. It's pretty bad. It's pretty, like, you know, there's a lot of the day one, you know, models are bad, right? Well, you know, none of them are fantastic. But hers is exceptionally bad because it's like the wrong height. The face looks ridiculous, right? I mean, literally, she's the wrong height. It's like, I mean, come on now. I mean, it's a mess. I think we fight him again. Gotta get those bond points in early, man. Gotta get that bond in Herc. I'm bringing Herc to every team. Even if we're like, oh, Herc's too OP, we don't want to use him, we'll still put him in the back. Because I'm going to use every account. If you start an FGO account right now, or a JP one, you get a free Ascension. You can make someone max Ascended. I'm going to, whoever I pick, they're going to be for the event, right? Because I want to do, I don't need to clear the event that's going on right now, but I need to at least get the CE. So I'm going to pick somebody, I'm going to max Ascend somebody that'll help me with that. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, though. I like how he's not really that much tougher than last time. Like, it's pretty much the same thing. Not quite. I don't know if we missed the 5-star thing or not, but either way, like, if we did miss it, it's because of the internet thing, right? Like, this account's been ready to go for a while, but I haven't been able to play it because I couldn't stream properly, so it really sucks. But like I said, most people that started playing the game, they wouldn't get the free 5-star anyway, so it's not really bothering me. And like, I already have all my favorites on my other accounts. You know, I have Gil, I have Achilles, I have Mordred, I have Ku, I've got I've got all that stuff, so. Like I've talked about nothing about this account for like weeks, and everyone's so surprised that it exists now. It's kind of silly. There's our boy Hercules. We'll definitely fight that soon. But I want to get this done. I want to get in here and do our story summon, see what happens. Honestly, I don't know why DW makes it so convoluted. It should all be one date. It should be like, yeah, you can't do the mission, you can't get the ticket, and you can't turn in the ticket all in the same day. And you just make it the latest day. Like, I don't know why they do all these weird breakpoints for all these different things. Pretty pointless. It's literally impossible to beat Shadow Hercules with all level 1s. Like, now if you brought a support, obviously, then you're fine. But if you don't bring a support that can carry you, there's no way. But there's a million, support units that could solo it. I don't know why I brought Ushi to an assassin stage. That was a really convoluted way. What the fuck? I was doing like the world's worst combo because I just wanted to get. I just wanted Fergus's art card in 3rd place, right? That was literally the only thing I cared about, and I thought they were gonna kill that, but I'm overestimating level 1s here dramatically. Okay, surely. We get this 2 NP gain in and he'll kill it. That's true, we could use Necromancy if we had it. That's a way to do it, but we don't have Necromancy. Also, that's not exactly a legit way to do that. I don't even know why I was caring about NP gain on Fergus. There's no way we're getting his NP before the stage is over. Whoo, boy! I feel this, right? Like, everything up to this point, you could obviously do at level 1. And I mean, this you can do at level 1, but this is a noticeable upgrade in terms of the enemy health. I like how the middle one has the highest stats, and he's got the danger tag, so he's got like he hits harder, but he doesn't have an NP, where the other guys do have an NP. Necromancy can proc 80 times in one turn, like it has no limit. It can just proc as many times as the dice works out for you. We actually got Hercules first try, but we actually intentionally did not use that account because it was double Hercules, and that's so unlikely. I was like, I don't want to use this because it's like, anybody can reroll for a single Hercules. That's easy. It's like recommended by most people. That's another thing I actually want to show off. People are always saying how bad Hercules is nowadays, and I want to show off that he will carry the shit out of you still. Like, everyone's like, oh, he's good for 1.0, but he can't do anything after that. That's ridiculous, right? It doesn't, like, I don't even care about 1.0, right? Like, I mean, obviously I enjoy 1.0, but I mean, like, Hercules being good for 1.0 is irrelevant because there's so many ways to deal with 1.0 anyway that you don't need him, right? The fights that are really obnoxious for, like, free-to-play people and they might have a real problem with, Hercules will help with so much. Stuff like Lee in Lost Belt 3, Zeus, Demeter in Lost Belt 5. He is so helpful in those fights, but people don't realize it. Like, they really don't realize it. Like, oh, he can't solo everything past 1.0, so he's worthless now. It's just silly. I mean, we're probably barely going to use Hercules, so he's really not going to carry this account. But I'm going to show how good he is when it matters. I kind of want to try to get more CEs, but we'll try to beat Fuyuki. I just wish I had George, man. There are a lot of fights that David's really helpful. It's not like Hercules is the only super impactful thing. You got Robin. I mean, Jesus Christ, Robin is such a huge, like, such a help, like crazy big. There's plenty of good stuff that'll help. But like, a lot of the fights that really give free-to-play people problems in Lost Belt and Epic of Remnant, Hercules is extremely good for. It's like, yeah, he can't necessarily always solo the whole thing, but he doesn't need to be able to solo the whole thing. He basically cuts the amount of work your team has to do in half, right? It's like, that's pretty good. Honestly, Thinno is pretty good on JP now since she's got all of her buffs. Like she's, she's niche and she's a bit, wonky, I guess, to use. But I mean, she ultimately, I'd say, is fine. Buff removal is good. There's plenty of, there's plenty of boss fights where buff removal is a big deal. If you have Divine Servants to work with, that's the main thing. She just needs Divine Servants to work with, and she's a support for them with the utility of charm and buff removal, right? That's fine. That's totally fine. It's not as, the thing about Hercules is a lot of times, I would say often, Hercules is less good than, like, a lot of 3 stars that are tailored to the fight. If you're fighting as Saber, David and Robin a lot of times are going to be better than Hercules. If you're fighting an Archer, a lot of times Ku is going to be better than Hercules. But Hercules is almost as good as them. He's comparable to all of them. And in all class situations. That's why he's so good. It's because, if you level up Ku, right, maybe you Grail Ku, you go, do 10-10-10, all this stuff. That is super, super, super helpful for Archer fights, maybe Berserker fights, maybe Caster fights. But, other than that, yeah, he's good at neutral, but it's, nothing, that big of a deal. Where Hercules is comparable, and then he's also that good against literally everything else, right? That's so valuable. He's rarely the best pick for whatever class you're fighting, but he's up there, he keeps up. And then for, literally every other thing, he's also good. That's invaluable. And then there are certain fights, especially assassin bosses and ruler bosses and stuff like that, where he's just, super helpful. Because, free-to-play people generally don't have a good way to deal with Avengers, for example. They don't have, first of all, Avengers didn't even have a proper counter class for a long time, like Lobo, Moon Cancer didn't exist back then. So it's, Berserker's like the only way to get good damage on them anyway. And then the niche ways to get it, free-to-play people generally won't have. Same for rulers, right? The only real way to really fuck up rulers for most people is a Berserker. And oh look, Hercules is a really good Berserker. That, doesn't die in 2 seconds. Although, he's gonna die in 2 seconds right now because we don't have his evade skill or gut skill yet, but I probably should have saved that for Hercules. I don't know why I'm gonna save Uchi here. Not really worth it. Yeah, I want to use servants that I like. That's, if I get a random gold that I like, I'm using it, right? Now, if I get a random gold that I don't like, even if they're strong, I'm probably not going to use it. I'm going to play the game pretty, like I said, naturally for how I want to play it. Because I would naturally not use things like Waver and Merlin and stuff. I don't want to do that. That's not a stream thing. That's not a, a handicap to show off or whatever. That's just, I don't like playing the game that way. I don't play that game that way when I'm in, my free time and stuff. But, if I get, Karna from the Story Summon or whatever, I'm going to use them, obviously. This, like I said, this account is not about handicapping ourselves. It's about being completely free to play and really late to the party, but, being able to, get through the game anyway, because people always act like, you can't, but it's really not that bad. There's certain parts that are going to be tough, absolutely, Zeet don't go down easily, generally. This stage is actually going a bit rough. Our health is just so low. We're blatantly supposed to be like level 5 or 10, right? Because if, relative to the end game, that's nothing. But at this point, that extra health will buy us a turn or two. We probably will get Lily, though. She's not that hard to get out of FP. We'll get her sooner or later. Is this Emiya? This might be Emiya. Time to coup it up, boys. See, we have slightly more team costs now. There we go. Feels good. Guys, look how fancy we are. We're bringing a 3-star CE. Oh, man. Moving up in the world, boys. Oh yeah, Lily's rate is way better than Ongra's. It is light years better. Like, it's not like, oh yeah, you're gonna pull her daily. Absolutely not. But yeah, she's way easier to get than Ongra in the long run. I'll play the long game here. Well, I say play the long game, but our skills aren't leveled up. The cooldown is 9 turns right now. Like, good luck ever casting that one again, champ. Hey, let's see this Brun. Thank you for the Bruno. Thank you for the sub, man. Yeah, unfortunately my alerts aren't working because Streamlabs is messed up right now. I'm gonna try restarting the stream when we beat Fuyuki, and we'll see if that fixes our alerts. But thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, dude. Man, Ku without protection from arrows, that's a rough one. Guys, we gotta get Bulgs, this is really important. Okay, the deck just reset, so I'm gonna hope we get Ku cards. Good enough. Dude, we're NP1, so we can't overcharge. Oh my god, that's such a weird thing for a 3-star. Like, you're used to that for 5 stars, you know, sure. But a 3-star not overcharging is pretty messed up. Guys, Ku's NPing twice in 1 turn. How about that looping? Baldi is so bad for an account like this. He's so bad. 8K NP, dude. Oh man. Also, not only is he only NP 1 and level 1, but he doesn't have his upgrade, NP upgrade yet. BM combo. Although we don't have enough. That's not a true BM combo because we can't do the other Buster. It's still rude. I don't know why people are saying they can't hear the music. Like, I'm looking at OBS and it's detecting the music and it's there. It's quiet, sure, but I'm confused. People keep saying that. And I guess it's this OBS update that I did. Yeah, it's really annoying because there's really no way for me to hear it unless I like listen to my own stream, and then you're gonna have feedback, and that's like the worst thing ever. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I like how my first VOD stream is just gonna be scuffed as hell randomly, so this is great. Man, this is way longer than I remember. Dude, some people re-roll to get Saber Alter. That must be awful because you know, yeah, she's a 4-star and everything, and like especially day 1, like way back in the day, you know, there was way less stuff in the gacha, so like re-rolling for Saber Alter in day 1 wasn't, you know, it's not that hard to do in terms of like the rates. The problem is you have to beat the whole of Fuyuki each time, and that's terrible. I probably shouldn't have brought a Lancer here, but what are you gonna do? Not hard, but very tedious. Yeah. That's enough. Chat's really reminding me of my my tier list video, where every other comment is someone saying, "Oh my God, is that Arknight's music?" Like no one's ever said that before. There's a lot of that, except it's, "Oh my God, a new account," and it's not like we haven't been talking about this for like a month. Dude, I'm so tired of that. Like every other fucking comment is always, "Wow, it's Arknight's music." It's like, is that really that hard of a concept to grasp? I don't even get it. My whole channel is me using like different music, and like sometimes it's references and sometimes it's just stuff that kind of fits the character, like, or fits the moment or what. That's like my whole channel. That's like the whole shtick, right? And then like using, you know, not a million, you know, 5-star supports. And then for some reason on the tier list video, everyone and their mother has to be like, "Wow, he's using Arknight's music in an FGO video. How crazy." And yeah, there's been Arknight's music in like regular videos, you know, for a while, so. Like no, I de-leveled all of my servant guys. This is a new coup. You know, I got that 100 coup and I'm just leveling up another coup, and he's at level 1 because I'm out of embers, right? And we're just doing Fuyuki free quests because, you know, that's how you be productive. I say this though, but my main account does have 2 coups leveled. I have a 70 coup and a 100 coup. And with George, it's actually meta to have multiple Georges. Like everyone I think knows it's good to have a level 1 George and a level 65 George. But honestly, it's good to have like a 45 George, 35 George, because there's some fights where it's kind of tricky, like with the way the boss gimmicks go early on and stuff, or like classes are there for George to die in the correct amount of turns. And sometimes it's bad for George to live a long time. That's not always the case, but sometimes it is. And so having like different Georges that give you more control over, you know, when he dies is pretty good. And especially if you have a Grailed one. If you have a Grailed George, you know, and Grailed Georges can be great, right? Being that tanky can be super good, but it can backfire too. And sometimes you need him to die in like exactly 3 turns or 2 turns. Yeah, same with Qingong. Not as extreme, but definitely true with Qingong. Especially if you want him to die quickly, but then still have access to his skills, or at least his second skill. Because then, you know, you're gonna, you know, want him to be like the minimum level to get his second skill. Because a lot of times you want Qin to die in 1 turn. And not always, you know, just depends, but that is definitely a thing. Look at this Castraku, man. Hasn't done his first skill upgrade, hasn't done his NP upgrade. Also, though, he's level 18, so that's actually fair. It's actually cheating, because he's level 18 and he has his second skill. Hacks, man. Although, Siegfried is a character that legitimately can have his other skills, you know, without being leveled up. That's like a feature for him. And I think a few other tutorial summons as well. Basically, I think they wanted it so they're like, yeah, if someone has Siegfried, they want the anti-dragon thing. Like, it's no fun if you don't have the anti-dragon thing. So I'm pretty sure these saw it as like, you know, it's like so he can do the thing he's supposed to do right out of the box. So that's why they did it. And because he's a tutorial summon, they knew a lot of people would have him. You get more SQ if you have beaten Epica Remnant for the anniversary, but you'll still get free SQ if you haven't beaten it, but you'll get more if you have. I can't remember though. I think it might have only been for a specific Epica Remnant. Over time, they had added the rewards for beating the different Epica Remnants. I don't remember if that added all of them or if that just added one or what. It's been too long. Now this is like a normal free-to-play account, because you might think I've already done that, but I really haven't, right? I've never actually, I'm always like, oh, LOL, we're gonna, 1 to 3 star CEs because I hate my life, or whatever. But this one's like, yeah, if I get rare things, I'm going to use them. The only exception is like I don't want to use like Merlin and like double scatty. Maybe single scatty every once in a while, but no double scatty nonsense. I'm not gonna double waiver Merlin, right? We're not doing that stuff. But that's not. I'm not doing that to make the stream more interesting, right? I'm doing that because that's naturally how I play the game. I don't like using those supports and trivializing all the boss fights and stuff. That's not fun to me. I mean, when I this guy, dude, it's like when I told YouTube that I was, I made a YouTube post, like a text post to my subscribers, that I was gonna make this account and upload the VODs and stuff. And this guy was like, "Oh, that's a terrible idea. You can't get into FGO now. You won't have access to things like Golden Sumo and Poster Girl anymore, and you'll be so behind. There's just no way to catch up." And I'm like, who the fuck do you... First of all, it's like, who the fuck do you think you're talking to? And second of all, it's just a lie. Like, there's literally, you can be a total scrub, look up nothing, nothing, know nothing, be terrible. You can still get into this game and figure it out. I don't, people have this idea that once you've missed, oh no, you missed Caster Liz. Oh no, they're never gonna add a good welfare again. Caster Liz is not a good welfare, by the way, disclaimer. It's like, yes, there's lots of cool shit that you've missed, but sometimes they'll bring that stuff back and you can get it anyway, and they're always going to be adding new cool stuff. Like, so it doesn't matter. They're so aware of this. They're always adding, like right now, yeah, I can't get, Holy Night Dinner or Golden Sumo, but literally in the event going on right now, I can get a CE for free that has 50% starting NP damage up, and art crit up, right? That's fine. It's like, yeah, that's more niche than Golden Sumo, but it gets the job done when you need it, like, no problem. People are just crazy, man. It's like, if you're smart about, just, paying attention and figuring the game out and all that, it's like, you'll be fine. Like, just relax. Level your David, for God's sakes. I don't have Sumo and JP, I should delete my account, it's garbage. I hate that we don't have chat on the screen right now. This is gonna be such a scuffed VOD. Everybody say sorry to YouTube, but they won't get to see it because they can't see chat. Fuck you, YouTube. Yeah. I'm just not gonna tell YouTube the things that are being said right now. Hopefully, when, like I said, if I restart the stream, hopefully that'll fix it, because it's definitely on Streamlabs side. How long is this? I swear the next chapter is Saber Altar. I just wanted to do, like, the story summon, this music, though. So, no hate for Gareth, but I don't really feel like Gareth is a unit we really care that much about Bond on, right? That's not the one. Can't quite make this work. I guess we'll just give her this thing. Why have I not? Hold on. Just hold on. 1-star CEs, guys, are so hard to get. You gotta be, like with K-Scope, you gotta be so careful about when you MLB it, because you're gonna want at least a second copy of it, right? So you might want to wait to MLB it until you have 6 of it, right? No, this is not the case with a fucking 1-star. See, I have no idea why I didn't limit break this thing. And it actually gets, like, bigger returns, right? It goes from 2% to 5, right? That's a bit of a boost there. Literally in like 5 seconds, I can have more copies of this thing. This music is so good. Do we have green key? No, of course not. Guys, you gotta give the insta-death resistance to the guy that's insta-death, right? Because there's totally a connection there. Makes no sense to give her that. Makes absolutely no sense to give her that. But, I mean, she has high star absorb naturally, I suppose. So there is that. I'm curious, how much FP do we even have right now? Billy, give me Billy. Damn it. This is such a dumb CE. there are so many, like, you know, there are good 3-star CEs, but that is not one of them. That is such a stupid CE. The picture's cool, but terrible effect. Man, I tell you, the old 1 to 2-star CEs overall are a lot better than the new ones. Like, the attack one's fine, but, like, the other ones you had, like, you know, like 30% starting NP or 15% starting NP or whatever, and you had, like, the generic defense up on the generic art up, quick up, you know, all that. That was, you know, that was pretty decent. Some of these are okay. Like, you know, the death resist is okay. There's, like, the what is it? The buff success chance, you know, like, it's alright. But, yeah, they're more niche. Yeah, I mean, to make a CE that has, you know, if the effect only lasts 3 turns, it needs to be very strong, right? And like a lot of them aren't. Like they don't give enough. Like that Toko one from the K&K event, that's just not enough art up to be worth the time limit, right? Because then you got things like Painting Summer and Dive to Blue, and it's like, this does not compare well. It's unfortunate because Toko is such a cool character, right? I wish that CE was like meta for art units, right? I wish that was like a go-to starting NP, you know, with art up on the side, you know, CE. But instead, it's fucking Dive to Blue, which is Mash in a swimsuit, right? And then Painting Summer, which is Hokusai. Like I don't care about either of those. But yeah, it feels bad. Can we have like use the appearance of one CE and the effect of another? That'd be nice, because they're always giving out those super stylish CEs for like promos and stuff, but their effect is trash, right? It's like, oh, 50 more master experience. Landling is clearly a top tier farming unit, I know, right? Honestly, for like a new account, that's, you know, like this account's not going to be 3 turning anytime soon, right? Like we're going to do the summer event, right? And it's going to be super annoying, right? So longevity units like that actually end up being kind of good. That kind of thing. Skins for CEs, yeah. You can make it so like only you see the picture, right? It's on your support list. Other people see it as it's the actual picture, so they know what the hell it is and stuff. They're never going to do that. Too confusing, but it would be nice. A lot of the staple CEs don't look so good. So pointless to make a CE tier list. Like there's so much, like there's like over 1,000 CEs. I think there's like 1,300 CEs or something, right? It's like that's just no. And then there's so much like derivative stuff, and then like pointless ones, and then stuff that's super situational. It's all so pointless. A lot of Wickermans. I'm telling you, the 5-star tier list video is not being made anytime soon. Like, I'm not even working on it, and because one, I basically can't. I don't think, like, people don't realize, first of all, just how hard that video was to make. And that was weeks of bullshit, right? And like the amount of testing and everything, just it's terrible. But that's not even the problem. That basically blew up my computer, right? Like the editing program crashed basically every 45 minutes, right? Like every time the video would get to 45 minutes, it would crash, and then I'd have to render that video and then delete, and then that way it was like not a bunch of edits. It was like just one video instead of a million edits. And that way I could get rid of all the footage for that 45 minutes and everything. And I had to keep doing that. I mean, it was awful, like just awful. Like I am not doing that again. Like that's not happening. Like I prefer sanity, thank you. And I'd like not to melt my computer. Right, so I'm gonna have to upgrade my computer and then probably upgrade because I'm using Sony Vegas Pro 13, which, you know, like 80 years ago was really good, but it's really out of date now, and so it struggles to like be compatible with like newer formats for like audio files and things like that. So I need to update it to a newer Sony Vegas or something, which that's expensive, and then I need to upgrade my computer so it doesn't, you know, catch fire when trying to render, you know, a 5-hour long video. Okay, finally it's Saber Altar time. I don't know what they're gonna do with Sanson's third skill. I think if they ever buff it, they're not gonna make it human or humanoid. I think they'll just add some new effect, like a Buster Up or a Stargin Up or an NP Battery. I just don't see them doing it. Like, and they should, because lore-wise, he has that skill for the same reason that like Nightingale has her anti-humanoid and stuff like that, right? So he should have it. It's just gameplay-wise, they balanced it differently than they normally balance skills, right? It's a very large damage up skill, but not for 1 turn. It's for 3 turns, right? So I don't think they want to just randomly slap humanoid on it that lasts 3 turns. If they did it, they'd give it like they give it the anti-human for 3 turns and anti-humanoid for 1 turn or something like that. But that wouldn't make any sense, and they know it wouldn't make any sense, so I think they're just not going to do it. I don't think Sanson would be overpowered if he had anti-humanoid for 3 turns at the same multiplier that he has right now. But they're not going to do it. Also, they basically can't, because in their minds, it's like, well, most people that are human also have the humanoid tag. They're normally human and humanoid, right? So he'd be getting he'd be getting the anti-humanoid damage and the anti-human damage at the same time. They're not going to do that. And they don't ever change skills to like do something different, right? They always add new effects. So yeah, I don't think we're getting any love for Sanson like that. I think it's going to be like Buster Up for 3 turns or 1 turn, or 20% MP Battery, something like that. More anti-human damage, yep. This might be tough. We don't really have much Archer DPS going on here. We don't have any starting NP to speak of. This is where having the old low star CEs would have been nice. Or to have just coincidentally gotten Leyline. Oh wait, we don't even need that. Well, let me think. Hmm. 30 damage cut. So strong. All right. I think it goes up to 50 damage cut when you MLB it. So it's like the opposite of the attack one. The attack one goes from 2% to 3%, so it over doubles, where I think that one goes from 30 to 50, so it doesn't even double. I think. It might go up to a different amount, but I think it goes up to 50. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Rex, it has to be the most ironic use of that emote. By the way, old Saber Altar NP animation because they're too late, and old MASH sprite and NP animation, because even though this is the tutorial and it's like the first introduction to the game, they can't be bothered to upgrade it. I don't understand. It's like this is such an important thing to like getting people into the game, like the first stuff they see, right? And it's like, look at her old sprite with a fucking giant ass head. She looks like a 7-year-old, and Saber Altar looks like a, I don't know, 13-year-old or something. Small indie. Yet another reason for the, and all of a sudden she looks a million times better, right? And so does MASH. But yeah, yet another reason they need to redo the tutorial and make like a remastered version of it. God, she doesn't even have the double effect. It's just the one. That's funny. Do we just... I guess we bruiser her down. I was thinking maybe we try to get David's NP, but I think we just punch her in the lip a lot. I wish we had Robin Hood. The attack down would actually be nice. Mash his defense up. Oh boy. She does a little bit more damage than I thought. It's the new animations, man. Because they look cooler, it makes them do more damage, obviously. The deck shuffles next turn. I guess we'll just hope Hercules gets a better hand on that one. Although, nah, I'll do it now. Mainly because this is the last turn of his first skill. Besides, we're just as likely to get nothing next turn, so... Okay, George would be really nice for this situation. Well, she's about to NP. Which is unfortunate because she just killed Hercules in one shot, by the way. And now everything that shows up is going to instantly die. So, not a good time to have two people die, actually. %30 crit chance, let's go. It wasn't enough. Guys, we're just doing it like the anime. You failure. Guys, it's just like the anime. Is it bad that we obviously have won, right? Not only do we have protection from arrows, so we can't die this turn. She only has 900 health. Do we? I'm BMing. I have to BM. Like this is important. I mean, this is obviously what command spells are for. Feels good, man. Rip Mash and Hercules, by the way. That was so bad though. They both died on the same turn and then brought in like the whole back row in time for the MP. That was like as bad as it gets. And no one had any survival skills, so. She did. Olga will be back. Or Olga, or whatever. As a corpse. Being possessed by a beast, which is being possessed by an alien god. That sounds so troll, but it's true, right? That's literally... Now we can turn the sound back on. Then we just got Bond 1, boys! Already got Bond 1 with Fergus. I think Fergus was our first Bond 1. That is such a silly reward, man. Like, that's such an easy knack to get in the long run. We got him rail! Okay. Free stuff! Do we not have access to what? Oh, what is the point of that? You have to be in the other tab. I was like, oh no, if you went to that menu from that other tab, that would just be too confusing. Like, see, why? It gets blacked out. What's the point of that? What is the point of that? Like, oh no, it's too confusing, guys. Castraku feels good. Alright, let's see if we, what we get out of Story Summon. I actually hope we get Castraku. Very useful. Although we do have nursery rhyme on this account, so I guess we're, I did unmute. I don't understand why everyone's saying they can't hear things. Like, I can hear it, and I can see it in OBS, and people are always saying they can't, hear things. I'm confused. I have to check my settings, because it's funny, when I updated OBS, it was all like, oh yeah, none of your settings will change, but I think that's a fucking lie. Max is trolling. I'm not trolling. We'll do this one in slow-mo. I generally don't do summons in slow-mo, but we'll do this one in slow-mo. One, I'm lazy. Oh my god, that's such a... Again, plenty of 3-star CEs are good. That ain't one of them, right? They took Leyline out of the summon, but they put that in. It's like, oh, okay. Thanks. Really like more copies of Ku and Robin. Well, okay, that's good too. I actually like Billy more than Robin, but Robin is a lot better. But Billy's best boy, so that CE is trash, dude. There again, a lot of 4-star CEs are really good. That ain't one of them. That thing is such trash. I remember my very first account did not get Billy for ages. Oh, alright. I like Avisubon a lot. Be a while, though, before he's strong enough to really do what he's supposed to do, but... That's, yeah, no real rush to get him, though. Yeah, I'm not gonna... You gotta really upgrade him for him to be good. That'll be, Ku would be nice? Yeah, get that NP2. I think that's our first NP2. Ugh, that's not very good either. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but it's not that great. Again, a lot of good 4-star CEs. They're always adding new 3 and 4-star CEs into the gacha that are trash, and they just make it harder to get the good stuff. That's okay. It's in the long, it's good right now. Like in the early game, that's gonna be really helpful. In the long run, it rarely beats out starting in PCEs, but we don't even have any starting in PCEs, so that's pretty good for now. Like, that's not nearly as good as... Like, I'd much rather have, like, Imaginary around, honestly, than that thing. But it's still fine. Like, Victor's fine. And it does have longevity. Like, it has uses, you know, when you don't need starting in P. And there are times that you don't. And sometimes you are doing a Buster crit team. But, you know, especially early game, you're not going to be critting that often. You're just not. So, the crit side of it doesn't really do much. And there's other things that do more. Well, hey, it's Ku, so... That was not a very good roll, though. Like, Billy good, Ku good, but pretty much everything else was not really that helpful. Yeah. We got triple Ku already. Yeah, we'll use the tickets too. Like I said, I'll probably do, you know, 2 or 3 story rolls before I start saving my SQ. I mostly just wanted to get some, you know, decent CEs. Avisubon is so good, but he's going to be hard to, like, he's not worth investing in yet. We need to invest in some more, like, basic stuff first for casters. Could y'all, like, give him an animation update? I feel like that's not asking for too much. Yeah, we'll use the tickets, see what we get. This Ushi. That's good too. That's good too. We need basically Ushi, Medusa, Alexander. That's about it for Silver Riders. I mean, Ricky Boy eventually, but I don't think we can get him right now. Oh, no, yeah, I think we can. Yeah, we can get him right now. We can't get Canis until we beat Lost Belt 5, so... Yeah, Ricky Boy is just a generic 3-star you can get anytime. Yeah, he's an FP. That's good. That's good. Really glad to see that. Need a limit break it for it to really do its job, but that's good. That's staple AF right there. It's good outside of just soloing though. Like a lot of times you're gonna have taunt walls you're gonna throw away and you might as well have them charge your team. Like it's very helpful. Like it's not like a gimmick just for soloing. It's extremely useful to free-to-play people. And hell, even for non-free-to-play people. That's a really good one, but it's another one that's, you know, long investment. In the long run though, this is huge. But the thing is, I don't really, units like a VC Braun and him, because I'm not gonna level them right now, I don't really need to unlock them, right? I'd rather unlock the stuff I need to level up in the short term. Because by the time I get to the point where I can get their third skills going and all that, you know, I'm gonna have them anyway. Medea would be nice. Man, we still need Mozart, dude. Oh, that's good too. I'm trying to think what I want. Finn, no! Finn, you're breaking the bank. But thank you, Finn, for the... How many was that? 10 gifted subs. Finn, you've gifted 100 subs. You gotta wind that back, son. But I really do appreciate it, dude. I just hope you actually have the money for this. Otherwise, I'm concerned. But thank you for the 100 gifted subs. Just casually. He's gifted 101 subs, dude. Shame my stream notifications aren't working. That is a terrible craft essence, by the way. Death up, yep. That's an okay one. It's one that we might use for a while, but we'll replace it pretty soon, I would say. We just need to get something like formal craft even. Double Medusa. Seriously, Finn, I appreciate it. Finn is actually Elon Musk. Oh man, we get a double summon, boys! I am not impressed with our CE's situation right now. He's good. I might actually level him for once. I really want like some 4-star CEs. Like some just decent 4-star CEs. That would be nice. Earmud's fine. He's just not as good as Ku. Like Ku is obviously the Lancer we're gonna be leveling first. He's too good. He's good in a lot of situations. Got an upgraded NP. Technically, Dearmud's not an NTR boy. Technically, Fion's wife is an NTR girl, right? That's more of the correct way of putting it. Huh. Well, probably not gonna level Rice Man now because I like Atalante more and she's better. It's close. Well, I'll say this. He actually scales with Grails better than she does, I would say. He really does scale like a champ with Grails because he has abnormally high survivability. But no, she's really good. She's a really good AoE archer. That's our first natural gold, right? Like the other ones were tutorial summon, so that's cool. We'll definitely level her. That'll be our AoE archer. I'm cool with this. I'm cool with this. She's got good animations. She's got good gameplay. I like the character, so... I don't know what the hell we're grailing. We'll just see. Probably grail a lot of things to 90. Oh, our login. Start Dash campaign, boys! Like how we're getting summer tickets. Nice, nice. Lots of good stuff. 20 XP, okay. So I don't know, I gotta think about this, right? I don't want to over-level Orleans, right? I don't want to do that. But I also want to, you know, level up as strong as possible on some units to deal with the summer event, right? Because after the summer event, I'm going to go back to the story, and I don't want to have the story over-leveled. So I got to think about what to level. I got to level up like very specific things, and then just not use those things for a while, right? So then I'm going to level things that in the long run I'm going to use, but in the short run I don't need to use them for like Orleans and Oceanus. I'm not going to really like, you know, uncap the levels, I guess, until like, you know, America or something. Yeah, for Orleans, honestly, I think you're pretty, you know, level 10, I think is fine. Keep people at like level 10-ish. And then